Good evening, Will. Good to see you're the first again. You must have a lot of notifications pinging away on your phone for different things. Good evening, Mag. Hope you're well as well. Right, so I've just jumped into the cockpit and it appears there seems to be snow or slush on the windscreen. I've never experienced that before. I think that looks pretty good. At least I hope that's what it is. I think that it just looks amazing. Of course, it means we've got to find a way to got to find a way to clear it. We've got the wipers. The real question will be: is it modelled? Is it modelled correctly? Can we get them working? I've never had cause to try and use them yet. And Will, I don't know what it's like on the Dash 8s, but with the Airbus, you can't use the wipers on the Airbus unless you actually do have the ice or the rain there. You just scratch the hell out of the windscreens. So this will be fun. So tonight's flight is a community flight. I'm not on VATSIM. I'm actually just in Microsoft Flight Simulator multiplayer mode, live players. So if anyone that does have Flight Sim wants to join us for the cross along of the Irish Sea, then go for it. Waiting on HD to join. Yeah, I don't know. It's Sunday night. What's on TV on a Sunday night? Good evening, Daniel. Excited the stream saying the ICO for Manchester. It says Birmingham. Oh, you're right. It does. That's interesting. Should we change that? That is incorrect. Let's head into that, shall we? Let's see if that works. You should have Manchester showing in a second, I think. We'll see in a moment if that works. And we'll soon find out. Emmerdale. Is Emmerdale on a Sunday? I thought that was weekdays only. My wife watches it, and to be fair, if I'm in the room, I'll watch it with her. Something you can just switch off for, isn't it? There we go, we've got Manchester loaded, so that's good. Excellent. So, yeah, as I say, if anyone wants to join me on the flight, they can do. We're not on VATSIM, so we can just take our time and hopefully get this nice icy departure out of the way. It looks like fun, doesn't it? I'm just setting a couple of things up in the sim. I just wanted to actually get the stream going while we did that. Let's just wait for that to get going properly. There we go. We've got Manchester departed now, as Manchester in the banner there as well. So that's good. What I will do as well in a moment, I'll bring the flight plan up so we can all see it. Tell you what I am going to do. Let's jump into the let's jump down into the McDo and get the weather for Belfast. Echo Golf Alpha Alpha. Just pop that in there. See if we can get that. See what that's saying. Show the wing on departure. Do you know, I'd love to. I could try it briefly, just see what happens, but of course what you can't do is, I've not got like a dual screen thing going on, so I can't have the wing and the cabin so I can actually see what's happening. So yeah. Boxer Steve, can I do more of the community flights after Christmas? Yeah, of course I will. Why not? To be fair, this is actually the first time I've done one, so I don't expect anyone to join along there, but it's just sort of testing the water to see if anyone does fancy it, and of course to check it works. So yeah, Daniel, if I have a good enough PC to control flight, I would happily join. Yeah, it is a bit of a beast, isn't it? But as I say to a lot of people, you don't need the best computer in the world. I certainly don't. This was 700 quid, this computer, and it seems to fly quite happily. Let's have a look. Ooh, right, so it's -2. Very cold. In that case, we best get some bleed air going, haven't we? No wind. 8,000 meters visibility, scattered 100, broken 3,300, -2. Right, let's get that APU fired up. Alright, so I've not actually done any of the flows just yet, so we'll get that started. And do you know, now we've actually got a simulator which seems to be producing the snow and the ice sort of thing for takeoff, then you do need the alternate checklists and things to go through for that, which I don't have. Could do with HD online. He'd help us out for this. So we'll get the batteries on, and we've got external power on. We'll turn on the nav lights, and as I said, we'll get the HD on. So yeah, Steve, as Daniel says, it's not the best. The only aircraft you can fly properly is the 737, and that's if you know what you're doing, as well as the 777. I did try the Explain Mobile. I wasn't overly impressed, to be honest. But I can't play a simulator game on a mobile phone. It just doesn't work. Not the same way as we're used to, doing the proper sim. Plus which, many of you know, I failed my medical because of my bad eyesight. Trying to fly a plane on a small mobile screen, or even a tablet, is just not good enough for me. Right, we'll get the crew oxygen on, and we'll turn the ADAs on as well. Waiting for this. Do you know what? I can almost feel the coldness sat here. It looks cold and miserable, doesn't it? Really good effect. I think it's too dark. If you have a look outside, oh, look at that. You can see the front of the windscreen is all frosted up. Can't see any of the aircraft frame, sadly. Light reflecting off the catering truck. That's about that. But there we are. And I don't actually see any other aircraft around, so I don't think there's anyone on multiplayer with us at the moment. So we've got the entire airport to ourselves in the world, which is nice. I can hear the APU starting to get a bit of life to it. I've not even put any flight planning here yet. So as I say, we're not on VATSIM, so we're just going to take our time. We've got loads of time to muck about a little bit here, which is nice. 1003 is the QNH, so I'll just pop that. Set that and cross-check. Good. Box Steve, can you redo the medical exam? Yeah, I'm sure you can, mate. But my eyesight has not got better with age, so there's no point. Magnus, can you explain a little bit about the constraints in the flight management system? Right, okay, so the constraints are basically along SIDS and stars, usually your standard instrument departures and your standard arrival routes. You need to be at certain altitudes by certain waypoints, or above, making sure you're above certain altitudes, or making sure you're below certain altitudes. And we can show those a little bit as we approach Manchester. What I can't really do is show you them here at Belfast, and that is because Belfast doesn't have any SIDS. So we kind of make them up. What you can do is, however, is you can put them into the flight computer yourself. So we might have a little look at that just to show you how that works. Yeah, it'll be the pitot heat. That also does the windscreens, I think. Will, you're quite right. Just waiting. Have we got the APU? Have we got some? There we go. Right, okay. So let's see. Oh, I can hear the fans blowing. That's making me feel warmer already. There we go. Alright, so let's get some actually we don't need those ices on yet, but we've got the pitot heat on. So let's just keep a small eye on the ice that we've got on the windscreens here. See if it starts to melt away, and if not, of course, we've got the windscreen wipers. See what they do. So that will be good. Yeah, do you even have time for a sandwich and coffee on this flight? Not unless you pay for it on EasyJet. Baldus, how do you even join someone in the game? You basically, if you're in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and you just click the multiplayer setting right at the start, and yeah, basically you can then see everybody, and as I'm talking to you there, I'm watching the ice melt before my eyes. This truly is magnificent. I can't believe that happened. Wow. Look at that. I am bowled over by that. Oh, I'm easily pleased. But how realistic was that? That was fantastic. Good. I was on the Northern Europe server on one of your last flights, but the departure got delayed, so the tag in the distance disappearing. Ah, that's a shame. So Danny, which gate am I at? I shall tell you. So we are at Belfast, and I'm at gate... Oh, where have you gone? Hang on a sec. My SimBrief charts have just crashed. Not SimBrief, Navgraph. Where are we? Open my charts list. There we go. So we are at parking stand number... Come on. I know it's one of the remote stands on the right hand, on the eastern side of the airfield. Oh, come on, Navigraph, why aren't you working? I seem to be having a problem with the internet connection on my other PC tonight, so I don't know what's causing that. But yeah, I want to say gate 10, I'm not sure if that's right. Gate 15. I believe we're parked at gate 15 at Belfast at the moment. HD is here, fantastic. Oh, HD, right, can you give me a quick checklist for, not that it matters now, we've melted it, but if you go back to the beginning of the stream, it was fantastic. The entire windshield was all iced up. It was beautiful. So we've just turned on the pitot heat for windscreen heat, and that's obviously melted it away. Just want to check there's nothing extra we need to do to before doing that. I'm not aware of anything, but my knowledge for that particular check is somewhat limited. So HD logged in late, of course. Yeah, well, Emmerdale's just finished. Daniel, can we fly between Bristol and Eindhoven? That sounds like a good trip. Don't mind doing that. Keep that one in mind. Right, now we've got a little bit of bleed air. We've warmed the airplane up because it was freezing, or it certainly felt like it was freezing. I'm going to get some passengers on board. So let's start getting them on board. Just make sure the pitot covers are removed. Yeah, all right, fair enough. I do know that part of the checklist. Would be cool actually if we did a walk around one day, but I would need HD there to take us through it.
Cabin crew, we're happy to get going now, so as soon as you're ready, you can open the doors and start letting passengers on board.
Okay, so as I say, we're not on VATSIM, so I'm just going to pop in some of the details here. And we're taking our time with it this evening. So we have free will, so to speak. So there's our flight plan. Okay, so let me grab that. Dash 8 procedures, just to scrape it off with the car eye scraper. Well, that's better than using your credit card, I suppose. Well, right. So, where are we going from to? Echo Golf Alpha Alpha, Echo Golf Charlie. Oh, to Manchester. Not in database. You get that sometimes, don't know why. Put it in again, it tends to work. Echo Golf Alpha Alpha, Echo Golf Charlie. There we go. And of course, this isn't a real world EasyJet flight. It probably is actually, but not right at this very moment, so I'm sticking with the usual Easy 34 Alpha mic. There we go, and the alternate is Birmingham. cost index of 8, and only a low cruise level, what I would expect, yeah, level 250. Minus 46 degrees. So there we are. Alright, let's have a little look at the flight plan that we've got for today. So what are we doing? They've already mentioned there's no SIDS at Belfast, so we're departing from runway 07 this evening. Departing from runway 07, and available SIDS, it does say available SIDS, but Lisbon, which is basically a waypoint. So we're just direct to Lisbon, which is the first transition Isle of Man, is that right? I didn't think so. I don't think that's accurate. Do you know what? We're not going to put any SIDS in there because I don't believe there is one. So just go back to that. Let's just clear that up. So get rid of the Isle of Man, get rid of Silda, get rid of Ringa, and that'll do. Oh, HD, yeah, I did put you a mod in there just because it was that time when I got messages. You were sending messages through, but they weren't coming through on my chat window. So I was trying everything to get you back in the game. So, Will, I think we're going to add you as a mod as well, mate, because when there's long flights taking place or I'm concentrated and someone comes on the chat and they may need liberating. So I will set that up. Having you both on there is always good. You feel privileged, HD. Oh, HD, the privilege is all mine, mate, trust me. Right, what we're doing, we're going from Lisbon, so let's try the airways. Airways, Lima 603. Lima 603. From Lima 603 to Quebec 38. Now this is where this may not work. Let me try this. Depends if it's been updated. The last time I did it this way, you had to actually put in the waypoints as well. So I'd have got to both pop PEDOP in there. LL Gaming, what server? Oh, do you know, that's a very good question. Does that matter? Come back and let me know. It will most likely be the Western Europe one. I thought they were all... I just thought they were all connected. Will, I'm bad at spelling, don't judge. You can't be any worse than me, Will. Right, so let's try this. If we pop that in there, does that auto-populate the PEDOP waypoint as it should do? It did! Oh, this is new. Right, Gig 2. Let's check that. So after Gig 2, we're actually going to have to put that in because then we're at the Mersey Star, aren't we? So, oh, that's quite nice. For longer flights, certainly. Pop that in there and insert that. And that's really nice as well. Look at that. You've actually got all the waypoints on the L603 and the Q38 airway. Now, they didn't used to do that, which is why I, since now, have always imported Simbrief flight plans when I'm flying on VATSIM. Because what it did used to do is it used to give you the Lisbon. It would take you on the L603 airway to PEPOD, but it didn't list all of the waypoints in between. So when you were on with the live air traffic control on VATSIM, when they said, for example, go direct SOSIM, you would have no idea where that is without going through the entire flight plan. But now, that is there. That is wonderful. That's... fantastic feature, and presumably HD, of course. I think I'm right in saying this. That is accurate. That is how the how the flight plan computer does work, doesn't it? You can just put waypoint to waypoint to waypoint, and it auto-populates them all in. You shouldn't have to pop them all in, which is you did before when the sim was first released. So that is really, really good. LL Gaming, yes, it matters. Right, in that case, is there any way to actually find out while sat in the simulator? Let me know if there is, but I'm sure it's the Western Europe one from what I recall. Just trying to see if there's a way to find that out by using this menu. If not, let me know and I'll quickly hit the escape button, just go to the main menu if that works. So yeah, LL Gaming, if there's a way for me to quickly find that out without quitting the sim, then please do let me know and I'll tell you what server we are on. So if we have a quick look around, can we see any of now what I've not got any of the gamer tags on. Let me see if we can just have a quick look at that. Oh right, there we go. Actually, so we are on the West Europe server, so that's good. And let me see if I can get the gamer tags showing, just so we can see everyone really. Where can we find that? Traffic type, show the nameplates, pop that on. Hopefully this will work. And resume. Oh, there you are, mate. There's the Baldrus. Or is it the Bald or Us? But there you are, right in front of me at gate. So what gate would that be? Is that gate 16? Something like that? According to the charts? That's a nice feature. We will definitely do more of these community flights once I've learned how to use them. But that's nice. So we are on the West Europe server. So that's lovely. What I will do then as well is I will just dial in and give you the flight plan that I've got. So if you want to copy that exactly, it's entirely up to you. Setting up LL Gaming, that's cool. So once we've got you set up and we've got the bold arrows set up, I'll pop that in there. So here is the flight plan that I'm using for today. So let me just go back to popping this into the system. So after Victor, we are doing the Mersey 2 Delta arrival, and that's runway 05. Oh, that's straight in approach as well, so that's going to be quite nice. We don't have to go all the way around Manchester. Mersey, oh, gone past it. Whoa, Mersey 2 Delta, there we go. And it always says we have to go via the Mike Charlie Tango VOR. No, we don't, but even if you press no vias, it still will insert it. So that's a shame, but never mind. Hi Richard, hi James, thanks for joining. Good stuff. Alright, so we've got that all programmed in. Distance of 175 miles according to the computer. We've got 195 miles listed on the OFP, but never mind. 20 miles difference. Alright, let's have a look at the init B page. And get some zero fuel weight. Now HD, you can help me out here, because you said on one of the comments to the to one of the videos, I forget which one, about setting the trim setting. So we'll go through that if you don't mind, because one I have is I have actually an external piece of software. However, if there's an easy way of doing it, which from what I was reading there is, then I would definitely appreciate knowing that. So what's the payload we've got? We've got a payload of about 18.5 ton. 18. I wish there was an easier way to move this slider. That'll do. So 18.6 gives us a. Oh, hang on. Let me just balance these centre of gravity weights out. So HD, the FMGC and the OFP should be more or less correct, usually with respect to miles. So there's 20 miles difference there, so we'll see what that's like. So Jeffrey, greetings from St. Louis, Missouri. So at least we're actually streaming at a decent time of day for you, aren't we? Richard, you're watching two screens. Wonderful. Okay, so centre of gravity or zero fuel weight centre of gravity is 25.3. And what are we doing? Our planned block fuel is about 3,100 tonnes, 3.1 tonne. Not a lot, is it? Oh. So what's that calculated? About 15% according to the flight sim. Oh, I wish there was an easy way of moving that slider. It's far too sensitive. Or not sensitive enough, depending on the way you look at it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there, lovely. Alright then, so HD, we've got a final centre of gravity of 25.7. So, if you could guide us through the trim setting for that. Because what I would do is, as I say, I'll put that into a bit of a trim position almost spreadsheet that I've got here, which gives me what that would give me is 25.7, gives me a position of up 0.6. However, it would be nice to hear how you would do that. HD can be mute you for being annoying. Right, okay, so that's all sorted. We can now put those weights in. Close that down. So our zero fuel weight is, oh, I've lost the OFP. Zero fuel weight is 59.4. Zero fuel weight centre of gravity was 25.3. Pop that in there, and we'll do the fuel planning, which is telling us a block fuel of 2.7. That's good, that's quite close. We're at 3.1, I believe. Well, that's actually loaded us in at 3.2, but that's just for the sim to make it easier. So we'll load that in 3.2. So HD, you'd adjust the trim to 25.7 on the trim wheel after engine start. We'll have a look at that then, after the engines are started. And we need to just pop in the trip winds, which is going to be T3. Pop that in there. And these numbers as well, because they did get computed just before I put the trip wind in there. I have tested it. If you put a tailwind in of say 100 knots or a headwind of 100 knots, they do then get revised. So that is all working. Congratulations to Fly by Wire for getting that working. LL Gaming, yeah, of course we can wait 5 minutes or so. It's only a short hop, so we'll probably spend a bit more time on the ground than the air, but that's fine, isn't it? So that's good. And the fuel predicted, estimated fuel on board at Manchester, 1.8. Okay, so that's a little look of our performance page. Transition altitude here at Belfast is, come on, load, 6,000 feet. Flaps 1, and I would presume this will be a toga takeoff given the weather. I may be wrong, but just for, in fact, let me just see if our takeoff calculator is working. The other day the website was down, which is a shame. So this is where the trip time would be checked on the OFP too. So the OFP trip time is, where have you gone? Come back. So the trip time, we've actually got a trip time of 39 minutes, and fuel remaining at Manchester according to the OFP is 1582. So, yeah, estimated fuel on board 1.8. That'd be about right, because then you've got the alternate, if I'm working that out correctly. So is that flex temp working? Where are we? Echo Golf Alpha Alpha. Grab the meta for that. What's our weight? Takeoff weight is at 62.3 tonne. Taking off runway 7. Instead, actually, we could do a flex temp takeoff of 66. Fair enough. So HD, we've got a flex takeoff of 66 worked out. So hopefully that sounds about right to you. So we can calculate the V speeds as the simulator does. So 132 V1, 133 for rotation, and 137 for our acceleration speed. Ooh, Mr. Ballion 77, thank you for joining us, living in Manchester. I hope the weather's a little warmer than it is here in Belfast. So HD, so we check the trip time on Init B. Let's do that. Check the trip time on Init B with the OFP on the fuel planning sections a bit further down the OFP. Yeah, I can show you those. Hang on. There, so hopefully you can now see what should match up, if that's right. 66 sounds good. Wonderful. Daniel's just casually watching, not knowing what he's on about, waiting for him to take off with some views. I promise we'll look at something a little bit more interesting in a moment. Just checking these times and fuel. HD's pilot monitoring says they're close enough, so that's good enough for me. Alright. So, yes. So there's some slight differences there. Nothing major, is there? Trip 1.2, 1.2, yeah, that's good. Taxi is set the same at 200 kilograms. Final reserves, etc. Good enough. Alright, so I think we're all set up as well there, aren't we now? Wonderful. We've got the USR point as well as we take off, but we don't need to worry about that because we'll just hand fly that first turn to Lisbon. Alright guys, so those of you on the ground with me, who have we got? A couple of others just waiting to join, I think, so we'll wait for those. The Boulderers eyes directly in front of me. The Boulderers, how are you doing? Hopefully, still there. It snowed here on Thursday. Hopefully that's gone by now then. LL Gaming, I'm in front of you, so I'm just waiting for that to see. What is your gamer tag the same, mate? LL Gaming? Ben, good evening. So HD, yeah, if there was way off there'd be a problem with the route somewhere, it's just another gross error check. So they looked quite decent in this, that's alright. Alright, so let me just get the ground charts up for Belfast, because we're actually taxiing all the way down the runway looking at this, which is going to delay a few of us getting out, but can't be helped. We want to take off with the correct runway. Just waiting for my... I may just have to restart the internet on my other computer. It won't affect the flight sim, it's working very, very slowly at the moment. Well, on my screen you're on my right. Oh, that's interesting. Because as you can see from live stream, that you're straight in front of me. As old man, hello all. Mr. Balio77, thank you very much sir, for the subscription. Captain Goss, what kind of overlay is this? This is from Fly Life Studios. So, lift in mind, do I need to be on VATSIM to see everyone? No, we're not on VATSIM. We're just on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, is the multiplayer live players on the Western Europe server. When will I do a face reveal? Maybe if I ever buy a webcam. So you're on the left. Fair enough. A little bit of ground traffic there. What we can't see is my beautiful new ground crew with EasyJet liveries on their backs, which is quite nice. Alright, get the flight directors on. I will start prepping to go because I think most of my passengers are loaded up. LL Gaming, I can see you, but you can't see me. Parking stand 20. Oh, alright. So parking stand 20 is that parking stand 20 the real parking stand 20, or is that Microsoft Flight Simulator's parking stand 20? Never mind, if we've got you in, we've got the barreled auras in, we'll start to get some engines going, and that's it. SL Man, we are getting the sounds from self-loading cargo. Greetings from South Africa, Adam. Good evening. EasyJet supplied, and EasyJet just landed. Did it? Is there someone on the runway? Didn't see that. I'll have a quick look outside. Oh, that's strange. No, can't see anybody. Alright, let me just check the before start checklist. So, cockpit preparation checklist is complete. Our signs are all on. We disconnect the external power now. Don't need that. The diesel allowed fuel quantity. We need set and balanced. Oh, hang on. There we go. Flight management guidance systems are all set. Altimeters are all set. Anti-ice as required. HD, would we put anti-ice on for the wings and engines now, or after engine start, or before takeoff? If you can get back to me on that. Obviously we've had to have the P2 windscreen heat as it is very cold and icy. OFP can go down too. I'm going to have to write that on my checklist, aren't I? So we can get rid of that. Thank you for the reminder. So if there's freezing fog forecast, I'd have wing engine anti-ice on for departure. Again, this will be accounted for in the performance. If you haven't, knock 5 degrees off the flex temp. Well, technically the flex temp does come with the METAR, so it should all have been accounted for. So we'll pop the anti-ices on after the engine start, which we're going to do in a moment, as I think we're about fully loaded at the we've got 1 or 2 passengers, straddlers. I think they're now set. So we're going to close the cockpit door. With that, we can't hear the passengers anymore.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the cockpit, this is your captain speaking, and I'd like to welcome you on board the aircraft. We're running slightly behind schedule, but we should be able to make up the time once we get up in the air. The guys on the ground are loading the final bits of luggage into the aircraft, so I expect us to be on our way very shortly. If you could help the cabin crew by getting yourself sat comfortably with seat belts fastened, we should be ready to depart in just a few minutes. For now, though, I'd like to thank you for choosing to fly with us today, and I hope you enjoyed the flight. Thank you.
HD, that's just flagged up, thank you. Right, so we want the packs off.
Thank you.
And anti-ice. We've either got the options of engines or all, so we'll go for all. Runway wet is certainly not dry, so let's just recalculate that. That gives actually that's giving us a flex temp of 66 as well, so no change there. Daniel, you managed to shut the passengers up. Yeah, fair enough. So even with the engine anti-ice all on and a wet runway, it's still showing us as a flex temp of 66. Would that still sound right to you, HD, or would we look to move that? So we've got engine 1 fired up, engine 2 fired up in a moment. Okay, so the taxi routing for this will be to, I'm just waiting for there we go, so we can, I will taxi down along, it's taxiway Lima Charlie, crossing runway 17 onto Delta and holding at Delta 1. And that's getting us to runway 07. Long runway, so sounds okay if the anti-house and backs are accounted for, that's fair enough. Interestingly enough, Will, the reason that wasn't my voice on my own pack is because we are late. I've not done a late announcement, I haven't recorded one, so because we're technically late according to self-loading cargo, that's the reason why. Alright, so with that, we've got both engines fired up.
Ladies and gentlemen,
turn the tax light on.
I ask that you please direct your attention to the monitors as we review the emergency procedures. There are 6 emergency
Logan,
exits on the
this,
aircraft.
it's not VATSIM,
Take
it's
note to
Microsoft
locate
Flight
the one
Simulator's
closest to the window
own
that is maybe
servers.
behind you.
So it's
Stand
live
the
traffic
number
on
of
there.
rows to the exit. Should the cabin experience pressure loss, stay calm
Alright,
and
so
listen
let's have a
for
look at the
instructions
trim
from the
before we
cabin
get
crew.
moving. So HD,
Oxygen
what
masks will drop down
were that
from
trim
above your
setting again?
seat.
I've forgotten it.
Place the mask over your
25.7.
mouth
So if
and
we go
nose
down to
like
the
this,
trim
and
wheel,
pull the strap
ooh,
to tighten it.
we got these
If
lifted
you are
on here.
traveling with children, make sure you put your own mask on first before helping others. In the unlikely event of
I
an
don't think we've
emergency
actually
landing
got
and evacuation, leave your
it
carry-on
listed,
luggage and
you know.
items behind.
Oh, hang on.
Life rafts are located below your seats and emergency lighting
Hang
on
on.
the floors will lead you to the closest exit. We ask that you make sure that all carry-on luggage is stowed away safely during the flight.
I don't know if
While
you've
we
got
wait
more
for
information
takeoff,
than that on
please
the
take a moment to
on the
review
aircraft.
safety procedures on the card in the pocket in front of you. Thank you for your attention and we hope you enjoy
That
the
looks
flight.
to me rather difficult to try and see. So what I'd actually got for the trim setting was up 6, which is sorry, no, up 0.6, which is about that, is it? 0.5, 0.6. So if you can just check that for us, HD, because I can't see any information on there giving us a actual percent setting for the centre of gravity. So the arrow next to the 0 will align with the mark on the wheel. So that's a setting of neutral. That's 0.0 presumably. Yeah, that's pitch trim of 0.0. And then would you leave it as trim neutral for takeoff? As I say, I've got a the setting I've got, the spreadsheet I've got gives us for the centre of gravity 25.7 would be up 0.6, but I don't know if that's the same. If it's got units up and down, but I can't see the percentage markers. That's what I was looking for. I can't see those, so I'm checking it up. Checking it up there with pitch trim on the lower ECAM. But yeah, no, there's no percentage markers on there, which is a shame because that would have been quite nice to have. Maybe that will get added in time. Okay, let me just tidy the aircraft up. So engine mode selector off. We can turn the parking brake off. I'm going to move in a moment, and we can now turn on the ice as well. All right, guys. Let's get moving. So I'm going to taxiing forward, making a left turn, and we're going to taxi along Lima onto Charlie, cross runway 17, and then it's Delta to holding point Delta 1. I should technically push back there, but we can just do this to get us moving and up in the air. Yeah, so if the trim was 0.6 up, adjust it to about 0.6 up. That's what we've done. It's one of those wonderful bumpy runways. Oh, goodness me. There are times, I believe, some of these taxiways have been maintained by Sheffield City Council. Potholes galore. Goodness me. I've done Jersey. Jersey is terrible. Here's one of those cars, nice and in the way. Oh, I think there's more than one. Oh, you weren't expecting a convoy of... Oh, look, he's reversing. Too late. Gone straight through you. Okay, so just currently crossing runway 17. And the taxiway is no longer illuminated once we cross here. And I've got I've not got a nameplate. However, not sure who that is on the grass. Fair play to them. Okay, so we're looking good.
Cabin crew, please van doors and cross-check.
Oh, hey, oh. Is that aircraft flying? He's levitating. Who's that? We've got no nameplate on there. Alright, so just do the before takeoff checklist. Quick flight control checklist, all looks good there. So, flight control, briefing is done, say we're taking off and then we're making a right hand turn for our first waypoint. Flaps, we'll do this as well, so we've got flaps 1 and spoilers are armed. We'll tell the cabin to strap themselves in for takeoff. There we go.
Cabin crew, seats for takeoff, please.
Brake check done. TO config is set. We'll just turn on the wind shear. We can also turn on TARA, and I believe we should actually get. Don't know if this works, but we should get some traffic on the TCAS as we're in Microsoft Flight Sim. Turn on the lights. Strobes are on as well, and a nice little touch, so the strobes coming on for our friend in front of us, which is lovely. Okay, so let's lead the convoy. Oh, Boulder, is that you? But it's been desynced. Oh, that's a shame. Never mind, we can still see you, that's the main thing. Thank you, HD. PM. Packs off for takeoff. We didn't even turn pack 1 off before, did we? Looks like quite a narrow runway, this one as well, compared to some. I like the little dip in the runway, as you can see there, so I might get a little boost of speed there. Alright guys, let's go. So we're looking for flex temp. Off we go. Man, flex, SRS and runway. So just watch the aircraft dip down a little bit there. And
100 knots.
neutral for 100 knots. V1 and rotate.
Positive rate of climb. Gear up.
And just concentrating on that flight director there, which is nice and accurate. We'll make that right hand turn. And set climb thrust. lowers the nose a little bit as we start to accelerate to our climb speed, S speed. And we can go now flaps 1. And start to bring the nose back up. Again, this is just following the flight directors. Holding us steady at 250 knots, which is nice. Okay, and with that we're going to engage autopilot and we can set our climb to 25,000 feet, doing this in selected mode. So we'll set a climb rate of 2,500 feet, altimeter to standard, and we can turn the packs back on, retract, disarm the spoilers rather. Oh, Will, is the banner broke? Oh, what's that telling us? Oh no! Well, that's going to leave you all guessing, isn't it? Don't know what's happened there. It's interesting. See if I can get that working again. Right, we've got. Oh, there we go. We've got a bit more information, but a few things have disappeared, haven't they? Let me re-enter those. Okay, so fingers crossed you might have got some more information now. Don't know why that stopped working. There we go. Alright, so now we're airborne. I'm just going to decrease the lights. And I can't see any moisture now that we're actually going to be flying through, so HD, correct me if I'm wrong, but we'll probably turn off the anti-ice about now we've taken off, etc. Let me know if that's wrong. Something else for the tech log. ETA is still broke. I'll tell you what, we'll give you the actual ETA, which is based on the route that we've got programmed in. So the actual ETA we've got is at the moment 20 past 10. That's Zulu time, so 22:20. Anti-ice can go off because we're not in the cloud, so that's nice to know. Let's get rid of that. Do you get a slight engine performance boost with the anti-ice off? Or is it now controlled differently? Please let me know. I don't know if it's just the way some of the air is directed around the engines and over the wings. Okay, so we're passing 10,000 feet. We can reduce the turn off the lights. If I have a quick look outside, can we see any of our fellow travellers? So the Boulderers is directly behind us, that's nice. Alright, so engine performance is still slightly low with that on, fair enough. Excellent. So if anyone fancies meeting us on the ground in Manchester, we should be there in about half an hour's time. Well, I hope I get my job back at Flybe if they restart. Well, they filed a motion to get the licence back, didn't they, earlier in the week? So that's good news. That's really good news. I think I mentioned before my son loves the purple liveries that they have, so he'll be very excited. Well, he was very excited when I said there's a chance they may be flying again. No rogue thrust lever. Need to look at the sensitivity settings for that. Good, I got the Airbug, Gold Coast to Wellington, Heathrow to Geneva, and Calabria to Mykonos in the evening, and only one slight autopilot wobble. Excellent, that's great. Alright, HD, so let's have a look at the fuel flow in the climb at the moment, and this, I'm going to pop this, oh, we are in managed mode now, that's fine. So in managed mode, hopefully you can see that fuel flow is, it's just increasing to, well, you can see the SB there for yourself. It's around between 700 to 750, I think it's about. Something like that. Why have we got an altitude constraint there of, what's that? We've stopped our climb due to an altitude constraint, which surely shouldn't be there. So that's a bit strange. Let's go back to a manual climb, shall we? So we'll still continue to climb at 2,200 feet. So that fuel flow HD may have been wrong. The engines were spooling back just because we'd got a road constraint in there, which is still there, but we're going to pass through that. It's not showing on... Oh, there it is. Hang on a minute. Let me just turn the weather radar down. Yeah, there's an altitude constraint there of below 1,700 feet at EGAA. That can't be right. So can we delete that? There it is. So if I go into here, and we'll just set that to 250, that's the altitude we want to be at anyway. So if I now just reset that, it's disappeared entirely. Okay, so if we go back into managed mode, oh, it is there, it's still there in magenta, 250. So HD, let's have a look. Is it an arrival constraint? I don't think so, only because I don't think the Mersey departure starts that soon, does it? Let me have a quick look. So the Mersey... Oh, it could do actually. I forgot it's quite a short route, this, isn't it? So we are literally going up and down. So you may be right there. Good call. So on the Mersey to Delta arrival, which is just here. I'm just bringing this up. Mersey to Delta, at gig 2 via Ibra to Wazzy, turn left. Mersey to Delta, oh yeah, flight level 170 by Ibra. Fair enough. What it wasn't doing though was letting us get to the top of the climb before doing the descent. It was just seeing that constraint there, wasn't it, along the route. I see. Fair enough. James, thank you for joining us. Goodbye. Yeah, it's a short flight, so it may have been. Fair enough. Very interesting. I don't think I've done a flight this short before, so I've not had it come across. Gussie Bald Arrows are still chasing our tail, which is lovely. Alright, so we're planning for a runway 05. Are we right or left? I'm going to presume it's going to be left. So is it a 05 left arrival at Manchester? Oh no, they've got us down as 05 right. Tell you what, we're going to change that. Just because once we land, we're a lot closer to the terminal. We don't have to do quite a large taxi, and let's face it, there's not that much traffic there at the moment anyway, is there? Alright, so enter destination data. What I'm going to do is we just need to get a bit of... in fact, could someone grab me the current METAR for Manchester, please? That would be lovely. Then I can just pop that information in while I just reset this. We're going to land 05 right. ILS, sorry, 05 left, ILS 05 left, still via the Mersey 2 Delta, so I'll just enter that, and then check the RadNav, is 109.5, and I already know that to be correct, because I'm sad. Will, bye all. Have a good night. HD and Easy. Did my comment for James show for you? Oh, I don't know. Which comment? Thank you, HD. Let's get that in the performance page. So, current meta is yes, I'm going to enter the destination data. QNH 1002 1002. Temperature 4. Well, that's already warmer than it was at our departure, wasn't it? And wind 0202. Oh well, no, Will, I did miss that, so have a good night, my friend. Hope you've had a decent weekend. I'll be back with a live stream again tomorrow as per normal on a Monday, so I shall hopefully catch you then if you're about. Runway 05 left, ILS, Cat 1, let's bring that up. Transition altitude 5,000 feet. And MDA is not allowed. Oh, we've still got that problem. That's not been fixed yet. Can't enter the transition altitude. Cat 1 is 412. We need to start our descent in a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, just from the flight deck again, just to let you know.
So if we hit manage mode descent now to get down to that constraint of 170, how well does that manage that? Or will we drop like a stone? We'll keep an eye on that. A few things we're doing this evening which aren't technically by the book, but want to see what's happening. Well, that's an interesting route. Okay, so that takes us via Wallasey, then up to Mersey. Now, the bold are us. What I'm going to do is from Wallasey, I'm going to go direct towards Manchester to pick up the ILS, just so we're not going up to Mersey. To be fair, I think that's one of the holding points for Manchester, so we don't need to worry too much about that. Still behind us, so that's good. So what I want to do is we want to be 170 by Ibra, then we'll fly direct to Wallasey, which is still part of the star. Then from Wallasey we're going to go on a westerly, an easterly heading towards the Mike Charlie Tango, or just a bit before the Mike Charlie Tango, just to intercept the localizer, make a straight in approach. And we want to be platform altitude 3,000 feet by 10 miles. In fact, no, if we use the Mike Charlie Tango VOR, which is 113.55, let's pop that in there. We're going to do that. So 113.55. In fact, do you know, HD, I think this now works. Bear with me, I'm going to do it the other way. Mike Charlie Tango. There we go, look at that. And then we'll pop that on the navigation display. There we go. So we want to be by 11 miles out, 11.1 miles out, 3,000 feet at platform altitude to intercept the ILS. Beautiful. Okay, so realistically, that's not a bad descent rate, is it? It might be, it could probably slow us down a little bit. We're 25 miles away and we're dropping at 2,300 feet per minute. So if I just lower that a bit, because we're going to be at 17,000 feet quite comfortably by then. Yeah, we got the VOR sorted, so we can just type in waypoints rather than have to worry with frequencies. Of course, we can see the bold arrows flying behind us, which is great, but it also means at the moment, even those that are not part of this particular group flight, because I'm flying on the Microsoft Flight Simulator network, any other aircraft that happen to be on there should be displayed if there are any. So maybe there's no one simming in Flight Sim at the moment, or they are of course, but they're on VATSIM, as we are not. Oh, fair enough, HD. Well, yeah, in fact, I think 1,000 feet per minute now is probably about right, looking at that. At the moment, it's still educator guesswork until that descent profile is worked out. I know for a fact they're working on it. Someone from Fly-by-Wire contacted me the other day. They've got a new stable build coming out. They won't say when, however. That... it is on its way. So if you were on the profile or high, you'd be descending at a higher rate. Yeah, that's fair enough. Thank you. Right, so we're going to be at 17,000 feet as requested. And then if we were going up to the Mersey waypoint, we would then need to be at 230 knots, but we don't, so that's fine. It will be better when it's more advanced because it requires less thinking. That's very true. At the moment, I'm still here with a calculator. So I reckon once we've passed Wallasey, we're basically going to be looking to fly a heading, probably to start off with. If we fly a heading of about 140, then we'll make a left turn after about 10 miles. After about 20 miles from Wallasey, and then that will get us nicely in line with the ILS at Manchester. Of course, below us, Liverpool Airport, I don't think it's far away. If we just turn those on, the airport's not showing on the navigation display this evening for some reason. Strange if not. If the visibility was over, you could have done a Cat 3 calculator. Lower, yeah. Well, as we both know, Autoland does not work in this. So what I am going to do is just double check, because we've got there's our constraint there. Passing that, what I'm going to do is I will quickly check that the weather in Microsoft Flight Simulator is being depicted as you've just told me, HD. So that'll come in a moment. Oh, the weather's having a... the engines are spooling up and down, up and down. Are we still in manage mode? We are, aren't we? Yes. So, what's that telling us the weather's doing? I've got a fluctuating N1 here, because there seems to be a constraint on the speed, which it keeps jumping around. So, let's just set that manual, shall we? 270 knots is good. So you can still disconnect the autopilot and land once you see the lights. Well, exactly, that's what I had to do the other night. It would have been really nice to do an auto land, a little less pressure. But have you? Has anyone checked out the Cat 3B no decision height auto land that I did try and do on this? It was a while back now, and oh boy, that was a mess. Bounced down the runway. Shallow Death, good evening on Twitch. Messages received. So what have we got on the meta here? We have got at Manchester 0202, that's correct. 3,500 with missed, broken 3,000, 4, 112. HD, translate. R-E-R-A. My mind's blank, I don't know what that means in the meta, not without looking that up. We've also got the mist in there as well. We should still be able to do Cat 1, if I'm right. Nothing wrong with positive touchdowns. Richard, you bounce down the runway no matter what. I'm almost certain that's the flame. Oh, it's recent rain. Oh, I've not seen that before. Oh, very good. It's just the amount of weather that's now simulated in Microsoft Flight Sim is unreal. It really is. So that would presumably, would you do anything different to the norm? Auto brake low. It's still a very long runway at Manchester. So it might be a slight impact on your stopping distance. My plan would normally be flaps full, auto brake low, and obviously reverse thrust, spoilers armed. Let me know if there's anything different. So arriving, the minimums are set, engine mode selector as required, and electronic flight bag as required, all done. Question HD, why do you need to check the engine mode selector whilst you are on approach? Would it not still be in the norm position for during the flight? So low is fine in Manchester. Yeah, I thought so. It's not a worrying runway, is it? Okay, so the bald arrows, just letting you know, once we get to Wallasey, we're now setting a heading of 1. We're going to set a heading of 135 from Wallasey. So fly heading 135 after passing Wallasey. So that's good. So let's see. If the plane's in one piece, it's fine. Yeah, several pieces I suppose you need to worry about a little bit more. Simon, you like the risk when you fly sim online? To be honest, I don't normally do it. This is the first time or first time certainly since I first got the sim, that I've flown the simulator online in terms of the multiplayer mode. Let's start that descent down to 3,000 feet. But I've been very lucky. I've not had any crash to desktops since we started. So very, very lucky there. Okay, let's get some spoilers going. Alright, okay, HD. You turn it to on if you're experiencing heavy rain. Turns on the continuous ignition to prevent flameouts, in theory. There's the voice of experience. How many times has the flameout happened to you? The amount of rain and ice and things that's got to get into an engine to actually cut it out is insane. Surely. Kill some fairies. Oh, it's very kind of you to say so, Rich. I'm backed up by some great real-world pilots and, of course, HD on here. So that's good to know. That's never really happened. So just get one of the guys on Twitch. Shallow Death says, "Is anyone on YouTube also on the dark side that is Twitch?" Must admit, we get most of the viewers are on YouTube, I think, for flight simulation. Oh, look at that! We've got the moon crescent just rising there as well, so that's quite nice. I think I should have started this descent sooner. I wasn't concentrating, because there's Manchester and we're still at 13,000 feet. I don't think we're going to get down in time for that. However, that'll be fine. So if the ball is still behind us, you can probably make your straight in. I'll just circle to land, and we'll come in. So all I'll do is we'll cross the centre line of the runway, and we'll make a right hand turn, do a 360, come in on the ILS, and we'll be good to go. So Christian, did you have issues with overspeed after takeoff in managed mode as well with the dev build? No, I've never had that. The only time I've ever had overspeed after takeoff is if I foolishly have not retracted the flaps in time back into the clean configuration. Captain Wacky on Twitch. Yeah, that is true. You can zoom in better on Twitch, see all the dials. I have noticed that when I've been watching on Twitch as well. Alright, so we're 21 miles from the VOR at Manchester. In fact, what we can do is we're now flying heading 155. Just extend our track miles a little bit. If we fly for 6-7 miles, and then actually we'll just make a left turn to come back in instead of doing the full 360, so that should be fine. Okay, 20 miles away, we're into the approach phase. Go to manage mode, target green dot speed. Still need the spoilers out for that. As we continue to descend, and seatbelt signs are still on as we pass 10,000 feet, turn on the landing lights. Oops, not to take off. There we go, to taxi. What's that? And turn on the landing system. So just see now we're currently crossing the ILS centre line at 20 miles out, or 21 miles out. Descending down to 3,000 feet. So we'll just fly this track heading for a few more miles, and 1002 QNH set and cross-checked. I'm getting better with that HD. Christian, did you pull back to climb thrust? That's the only other thing I can think may have caused an issue. Okay, the Boulders, we are now at 22 miles away from the MCT VOR on a heading of 155. I'm now going to make a left turn and we'll intercept from the south. That moon looks great, doesn't it? So we can just make a visual of Manchester Airport there. Continue that left turn all the way around. So if we fly, we're going to make a left turn, fly heading of, well, we'll fly north, 000. Vector ourselves in that way. Oh, HD, you're changing the bedding. I don't think I've had to do that since I've been married. Or certainly since we lived together even. Which means I don't think I've changed the bedding for about 12 years. It's Christian, so yeah, you did, never had the issue before. That's strange, isn't it? Not going toga for the whole flight. No, not good policy, is it? Okay, so we can reduce our rate of descent just to bring the speed down. Final approach speed is going to be 132. Let's just have a quick look behind us, see if we can see the bolt. Oh, good man, he's following nicely. So platform altitude is 3,000 feet, still descending that. We want to be 3,000 feet by about 11 miles, I think it was, I said. 11.1 miles from the Mike Charlie Tango VOR, so that's good. And we can go flaps 1.
Cabin crew, if you could please prepare the cabin for landing.
And we're now turning on to an intercept heading of 020 to intercept the localizer. And we're still 15 miles out. Just keeping an eye on the instruments now, for watching that localizer moving across. Has a tendency, if you turn on the localizer capture too soon, for some reason the aircraft sort of bounces off the signal and goes away, and you end up having a mass panic. Obviously this doesn't happen with real aircraft, it's a sim issue at the moment. Christian, in the sim they probably wouldn't die. I think they shouldn't be run on max power for more than 10 minutes. No, 5 minutes, and or if you've had a single engine failure, I think it's 10 minutes for the other engine. Okay, so localizer is armed, and looking at that, we're captured, so we're at 3,000 feet and we're 12 miles out, so that's great. And we're now just making a nice right bank to line up with the runway. There it is. And there's Manchester, and glide slope is active, so we'll turn on the approach mode, the approach capture, and with the glide slope 1 diamond above, we'll go flaps 2. Magnus, how do you calculate the final approach speed? Oh, the computer does it all for you, my friend. There is a way, obviously, you can do it manually as well, but it's done for you. It's down here in the approach phase, just here, look. So, the app, speed of approach. So it's slightly still to the left of the ILS, however, that's okay. There's a little bit of wind blowing us, so that should line us up nicely. Obviously we're going to do a visual landing once we get a bit closer. 8 miles out, and descending down with the glide slope quite nicely now. It's a normal 3-degree glide slope, so looking for a descent rate probably of about 700 feet per minute. And we can now go landing gear down and flaps 3. Ding the cabin.
Cabin crew, please take your seats for landing.
And I like to be established by fully configured if I can by about 6 miles, so that's flaps down. And we're fully configured. And is the bold arrows going for runway 5 right? Excellent. This is something that's not allowed at Manchester, but it's good stuff. Christian, you got that many questions? You need to write them down. Get them written down. Alright, so just before we do this final landing, just to say it's been great to do one of these little community flights. I know that I didn't actually give any warning to this. It was kind of a last minute thing just to see how it would work. So what I will do, if it looks like people on here do want to join, leave a comment on the video. Obviously, if you can subscribe to the channel, that'd be great because you get notifications. And we might start looking at doing some more of these in an evening where we can just jump in and fly a short route, and that'd be great, wouldn't it? So, getting ready to take over, and do the approach, the landing.
1000.
That's a good idea, HD. Just write them in the comments. HD will be there to answer any questions anyone has. If I can't answer them, that is. My point of view, I tend to answer the questions more based in the flight simulator, because of course the flight simulator is not real life. There's lots of things you can not do in the flight sim that you can do in real life, and vice versa.
100 above. Minimum.
So I'm just concentrating on this approach for the moment.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
It wasn't a bad one at all, was it, that? Think, you know, with some of you that have seen some of the other streams, some of the other videos, check them out, you'll have seen, once you land, you kind of get, sometimes you lose a little bit of the rudder. And a lot of the time, I think, it's obviously a sim issue.
Welcome to Manchester.
But you,
22:17. Unfortunately, the
but yeah, I've done a little bit of testing, and from what I can see, you tend to get it if you're not completely level when landing, as in you've got no inputs going in when you land. So you pull back that little bit to flare and almost apply no further inputs after that, and with your wings nice and level, hopefully that is. If you're still trying to sort of correct things as the wheels touch down, then it really doesn't like it. It almost freezes the positions of all of the surface controls as you touch down, and then you can't clean it up on the rollout, or at least that's what it feels like anyway. Oh, welcome to Manchester. So, there is the boulders are just coming in behind us. Are they coming in, or is that just where the nameplate is? It could actually be on the ground. So if I zoom in a little bit, I am aware that we've not turned a few things off here. I'm curious because that's he's hovering. Look at that. Oh, so what causes that then? I have not seen that before, even when I did try multiplayer years ago. The only thing I can think of, the boulders, do you have a modified Manchester airport? That's the greatest. Wow, so the Hawker jump jet has landed at Manchester. Wonderful. I'm just going to sit here and watch that. I think that's great to see if he actually falls down to the tarmac. That's wonderful. Really nice. Alright guys, so I am going to leave that there. I'm not going to park. I'm just going to sit here and leave the screen to fade out on that image. So that's wonderful. There he is, just floating above Manchester. That's the new hover bus. New Airbus hover bus. Wonderful. Well, I'm keeping this image for the to close the stream. Alright guys, yep, I am going to finish there. Thank you very much for watching. Please hit the subscribe channel if you're not already a subscriber, just for notifications of more content and tutorials, as well as the live streams. If anyone's got any questions, please do leave them in the comment section of the video, and I or HD, if it's a really technical question, can get back to you and answer that. And yeah, that's wonderful. Eastwards Lee, I did not forget the Q&H. I've got the slap marks around my head from HD. Look, let me go back. There we go. We were set 1002 for landing. You missed that one. I daren't annoy HD because I can almost feel that rule around the back of my head. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching the Ball Dollars. Thank you very much for joining us on that little short flight, and I will announce more community flights when I can guarantee that they're going to be taking place, so if you want to join us, we can get a bit of a convoy going. Thanks very much for watching. There will be another live streamed flight tomorrow. I haven't yet decided, however, where we're going to be flying from or to. It will obviously be an EasyJet flight, so I might have a quick look on Flight Radar, see what we can see is happening in the world in Europe tomorrow. If anyone's got any suggestions, we want really anywhere between a 2 and 3 hour flight is preferable. Give a good suggestion in the comments, and I'll have a quick look before we start streaming tomorrow. Thanks very much everyone, hope you all had a great weekend, and I shall see you very soon. Good night.